Deliveroo guy road race bike or something. And there's these commentators, and it's like the Irish Open road race. And there's a group at the front doing really well, and there's like a secondary group like trying to catch up. And the commentators are talking about like how no one in this group of riders is really strong enough to break away and then like do a good attack, right? Because when you ride together, it's easier. And this guy's like, actually, the pizza delivery guy on the right hand side of the screen, he's he looks like the strongest rider in the field. So they're racing up this closed road, but there's a Deliveroo guy on the pavement, and the Deliveroo guy's fucking nailing it on his own, even with the massive backpack.
So, hello, welcome to the Honest Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob, and today our special guest is one of our Deliveroo drivers. His name is Moomin Rider, and live still from Zimbabwe. Nathan, is Nathan. Hi, Nathan.
Believe!
Hello.
What the fuck was that name? You've been talking normally for this entire time. Did you just fall over?
It's not live, is it? Can we do it again?
It's live. It's live. What was that? Anyway, so welcome to the Small Gamer. Nathan's still in Zimbabwe setting up the Warhammer Age of Sigmar tournament league over there. He's been there for 3 weeks now. We're going to find out how that's going. Moomin Rider, you're our special guest. You've actually arrived after having delivered to us.
How's that cost her?
This is a Starbucks, actually. Hashtag sponsorship, please, Starbucks. Welcome to the show. Hi, Hook and Pin. Hi, John. So, hello, everyone. Welcome to Monday's Age of Sigmar on twitch.tv/Wargamer, which has been brought to you by everyone on Twitch and everyone on Patreon who helps make the show a reality.
Oh,
yeah,
they do. Thank you, those guys.
So, I am going to introduce the new fellow that you can see on the screen. And if you guys haven't and can't see the screen, I would suggest maybe just jumping on to either YouTube, Facebook, or
the Twitch app.
Yeah, or Twitch to watch. Just to see how good his outfit is, because it is excellent. But before we go into that, Nathan, how have you been?
No. Yeah, I've been alright, I guess.
Yeah,
been busy. Still busy.
What have you been doing? Because so the story.
Which age group?
Is that correct?
I don't know what you're on about now. Hello.
Hello, can you hear us?
Yeah.
So
let's just do this. There, that's better.
This happens when you get your
Nathan, do you want me to repeat the question?
Have you put the VHS in, old man?
I'm going to shove it up your butthole just now.
Buttocks.
Right, so I'm going to say hello to everyone in the room. Hi, John. Hi, Hook and Pin. Hi, The Propagation. And hi, Wargamer. Hello, everyone. Obviously, we're live, which is lovely. So, Nathan, what have you been up to? Where have you been? Why have you not been gracing everyone with your Age of Sigmar knowledge and presence for a few weeks? People will have missed you.
Have they?
Yeah.
Silly people. I've been on holiday and then I've been working away. So, I'm still working away. So,
I thought it's because you were developing a new hobgoblin tactic.
So, as you guys will notice through the rest of the show, our special guest, Moomin Rider, or Jim, might be his other name, knows fucking all about Age of Sigmar. So, however, this should make some entertaining...
I do know that the sequel to Age of Sigmar is called Age of 40k. I think. Because it comes after it, right?
Yeah, that's basically the same.
Yeah.
I'm going to say big shout out to Parkour. Parkour, who subscribed for 6 months in a row. Thank you, Par. What? And then Lexopolis says it's so weird having Nathan be the disembodied voice instead of John, John is obviously over in Sweden currently on the yearly Swedish pilgrimage they have to do to fight the fjord monsters.
The Hodge.
Yeah, the Hodge.
Yeah.
Whatever that might be. And then Tony King says, I get that reference to Moomin Rider. And then Par says, that's cool. All right. So I think if you guys are watching on Facebook or YouTube, we are live on Twitch, and that's where I see all the comments. So if you type it on there,
can I just do a spontaneous segment?
Right. So before we go any further, Moomin Rider, and let's not go too far into this. Who are you, and why are you here?
I'm Moomin Rider. I'm rank 1, class C, hero. I use some metaphysical energy to come out of the anime world into the real world for like an hour-ish. And basically,
to deliver pizza.
I was delivering a pizza, and then the Hero Association called me, and they were like, "We've got a guy called Rob on hold," and I was like, "Put me through." And he was like, "We really needed a guy who's not disembodied," and I was like, "Don't worry, I could do fusion and body myself, or embody. That'd be it, wouldn't it?"
Yeah, that'd be it.
So I just came to help out. We've got some pretty sick Warhammer creds. Got a Tomb King's army. No idea how it works. It's on square bases. Rage quit years ago, but I've basically kept up with all the jiggery pokeries, and that new mechanic where you can use Pokeballs to capture like main characters bigger than 3 inches.
Yeah,
that's wicked. I'm like pink slips on that.
You know enough words to be dangerous.
Yeah. Also,
you're like every internet argument. Someone who half knows something, and he's willing to. You're like every anti-vaxxer.
Yeah.
I kind of know a thing.
Yeah, my cousin genuinely got autism from a vaccine.
Do you know what's really important about this?
Or it might have been a coincidence.
Yeah, autism is a superpower, and me and every other fucking wargamer all got vaccinated. Yeah,
yeah.
And that's why we're so good.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly. And I've got bone conduction on this side, and not bone conduction on the other side.
So let's see what the guys in the chat are saying. Arkian, hello, brother. Tony King says woo, and also Tom says, this is Tom from Thursday, says anime. He also definitely got vaccinated at some point in his life.
Yeah. Good work, Tom.
And then the propagation says weeb shit. And there you go.
Good. Should we do the spontaneous segment?
It's really not meant to be what we're doing, but sure, yeah, go on.
Okay. This segment's called "Do You Want to See My Shoe?" It's a 2-part segment. I've got some really.
That was a podcast, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, you can go on our Twitter. What's our Twitter address?
Go for it. Our Twitter address: twitch.tv/thehonestwargamer.
Yeah, that's definitely our Twitter address on Twitch. You can see the shoe at a later date or live. Basically, a 2-part works like right now. I say, "Do you want to see my shoe?" And the listeners and viewers, they can just write in the chat if they want to see the show.
So whoever is the first to respond, I'm guaranteeing it's going to be Archeo.
Yeah.
Respond if you'd like to see Moomin
But
Rider's
if no one
shoe.
wants to see it, we won't do the second part of the segment. Anyway, back to you. It's quick fire. It's got Velcro.
Right, anyway, Nate, please hurry back. Also, Nathan in the Twitch chat said no.
I'm not even on the Twitch chat.
And then John asks, is it on a square base?
Okay, should we do news? Do you want to do tournaments?
We will do the news. Would you like to hear the news?
I'd like to hear the news.
So we're not going to lie to everyone who's watching on Twitch right now. This isn't going to be the longest show of us, because me and Nathan are prepping for some big stuff next week. And some other stuff.
Yeah.
TBNL.
TBAs.
But the big goss was that White Dwarf, the magazine, got leaked. Yeah, so someone saw some stuff in it. Took some pictures.
Like that leak. What? Like that leak.
No, not like the leak that we have in the room.
Oh, like information leak.
An informational leak, not the physical leak that we sometimes have, but haven't had over something. So we've had a boiling hot office.
Tell us what got leaked, Rob.
It was the long rumoured by me mainly. I wasn't. Anyway, the Battletome Beasts of Chaos. Yeah. Nathan, did you see this?
Yeah. I saw a couple of pickies. So
is that the one that's
pretty good?
The subtitle is Chaotic Bestiality.
Say that one more time.
Is that the one where the subtitle of the tome is Chaotic Bestiality?
Chaotic Bestiality. The subtitle.
Yeah.
Yeah. The tagline. Most of the Battletomes.
Battle Gnome. That's what Nate's got.
Yeah, Battle Gnomes. Yeah, Nathan did Battle Gnomes.
He's got a lot of them too.
Do you want to guess at some of the other taglines for other Battletomes? So, Ideneth Deepkin.
Yeah, give us a tagline, Jim.
What about Ivan F. Deepkin takes your foreskin deeper than a kin.
We're not going to be able to go much longer with this. They're never going to give us partner, right?
They will. Well, wait, once you've got an anime character in your show, you're in.
That's true. But once Moomin Rider's playing on the telly. And then finally, Legions of Nagash.
I'm not going to go with the first thing I thought of. Legions of Nagash. Roll a 6 for a dash.
Yes,
Poor. There's
fine.
a voice saying
That's
Paul.
fine. Maybe that's a competition. If anyone's out there and it's like, I'm great at taglines, we'd like to give us a
Caption
tagline for every
competition.
Battletown, please tag us with the hashtag on Twitter or Facebook, hashtag tag for Nagash.
Hashtag tag for Nagash.
Yeah.
Or you can use the secondary hashtag.
Any of those works. Great. Hello, everyone in the room. So, yes, some leaked pictures of what looked to be some Beastmen, specifically the Hearthstone, got announced. So then, then they obviously did one of those quick community articles.
What's the Hearthstone?
Okay, I'll tell you about this. So previously, and for a long time, there's been War Herds as a faction you can play for Chaos, Grey Herds, which is a faction you can play for Chaos. There was also the most competitive army in Age of Sigmar currently, Jim, the Thunderscorn.
Ooh.
Yeah.
They sound cool.
Yeah, Dragon Ogres.
They sound much
Dragons
cooler.
and Ogres together.
Drogers.
Yeah,
Drogers.
Yeah, Drogers. But imagine the power of a dragon mixed with an ogre.
Pretty powerful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth.
Yes, also sounds powerful. Keep going. This is the most powerful faction, right? Most powerful at what? Making you cry.
They had, what were they? They were lightning elementals or something. They're supposed to be able to control lightning, those Shaggoths.
Yeah, they're sons of, they're children of Dracothian, or like a spin-off. But yes. Anyway, it turns out actually, Jim, that they're not very good, the Dragon Ogres.
What?
They've actually been one of the most uncompetitive armies in Age of Sigmar since its inception.
Can I just say,
Yeah.
although Dragon and Ogre sounds really cool,
Yeah.
after I'd thought about it for a few seconds while you were talking, I was like, the power of a dragon combined with the power of an ogre. But then I thought, the power of a dragon diluted by the power of an ogre. I mean, surely a straight up dragon is better than a dragon ogre.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's like, who's harder?
It's kind of. Can I make a statement? It's kind of like if you took, this is a more real world reference.
Yeah.
If you took Usain Bolt,
Yeah.
an incredibly fast runner, and you mixed him with Oscar Pistorius,
Yeah.
you take away the main power of Usain Bolt in the legs.
Yes. Although, I'm not sure. Are we talking like if they had a kid or like just mixing them
I think
together?
fusion.
Fusion!
like the film The Fly.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to teleport them in. Yeah, well, I don't know.
But then blade legs are fast, is what I've heard.
I see this Blade Runner sometimes when I'm out biking.
A blade leg guy.
Yeah, that
guy with
like
blade
I go
legs.
biking sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this guy. He lives in like Burton Joyce,
Yeah.
and he's jogging. Seen him a few times. Like that's one of our loops we come back on when we're delivering pizzas in like groups of 10. And he's just the Blade Runner, just straight. He always gives us a wave because he's training and we're training.
I imagine he's working hard.
Yeah, no one's really training for anything. But so what else is new? What else has been leaked? I want to know.
Right. Hi, Kanhama Darren. Yes, I think.
There was a picture of the Hearthstone and also some of the spells.
But what does the Hearthstone do?
Hold on. So they've announced a battle tome, which is amazing, right? So we've had the Legions, not Legions. Yeah, sorry, we've had the Nighthorn battle tome. We've had the new Stormcast battle tome, as is once a year. New Stormcast battle tome every year. But then now we've got the Beast of Chaos, which it looks like it's gonna. It's quite interesting what it includes. It's got it's got, not only has it got like Bulgors and Centaurs and all the things that you expect to get from if you combine War Herds or Grey Herds, but also it's got Zangor in, and it's obviously got, like I said before, the Dragon Ogres. So it looks like it's like anything that's in the Chaos Pantheon or in that Chaos Battle Tome that they just were like, what the fuck are we going to do with this? They were like, let's just throw it all into one big book.
Well,
Yeah.
what's the book?
If you look at
Beast
the
of Chaos.
picture on the community site, if you look in the background, you can see a Java slide as well.
Yeah, baby.
What, a Jello slide?
No, a Jabba slide.
Can you imagine a Jello slide though?
A Jello slide.
Like a water slide with Jello. That'd be great. That'd go down well
You're not wrong.
at a tournament.
You're not wrong. That would be.
You know what I mean? Like between the top table. Oh, if the room was too big, you could have like table 1, big gap, tables 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah? And then when you got up to table 1, which is like 5 times a weekend, Jello slide. or
Pardon me, Rosie? So you're saying that all tournaments, so anyone who wins a Warhammer Age of Sigmar tournament should Jello slide out?
Or, Rosie, or you could lose and then have to Jello slide back down. That might be more fitting.
So one of my favourite comedians is a guy called Doug Stanhope, and he talks about how his mum, whenever she would make a joke, and she made someone laugh, she would just keep going and make it worse and worse and worse. This has always been my version of how you tell jokes.
So moving
you normally hit it okay, and then you go.
Yeah.
And it becomes
I should just stop.
an issue for everyone listening, I think.
I apologise, listeners. You can vote to never see me again by clicking on a button.
The Adequate Wargamer has subscribed for 8 months in a row, so thanks.
Oh, thank you, Adequate Wargamer. Basically, that's my fee for the night, isn't it?
Well, yes.
Yeah, like half a pizza.
Well, that's your tip for bringing us the ramen noodles.
So, I think it's great.
Like Nathan said, there were Jabba slides in the background.
Jabba slides.
There's Dragon Ogres, but there's also Zangor, which is an interesting choice.
What is a Zangor? I don't know what a Zangor
is. Well, Zangor is a beastman, but specifically they've always been, they were released with the Disciples of the Ancient Book, and all so they are effectively a race, right. Zangor. They're like bird men.
Oh, those guys.
Yeah, so like bird
like
men.
The dice changing guys, Lord of Change.
So, but what's interesting, Nate, I don't know if you think this, but obviously them being included in the Beast of Chaos book, you may in the future see like Zangor or the bird men as part of other factions. You might get like a Nurgle Zangor.
Do you think they're going to do like a keyword beast? Is that already a thing?
No, that's not a thing.
Shadow word pain.
Sorry.
Well, yeah, you might get some pest gore, and then whatever the corn gore.
Yeah, corn
gore. Yeah.
What I mean is
and rape gore from the Slaanesh on.
Oh my god!
Is that a thing?
Hi, V-Smash. Zangor Jack says they've got the gore keyword already, says Zangor Jack, and Zangor Jack is a big fan of Zangor.
Yeah, I knew that from the name.
Yeah, that's the
Good
way.
info, Zangor Jack. You should subscribe because you could help me a lot.
Zangor, he has already.
Good.
Yeah.
For 8 months.
Yeah, so someone's asking where we got Moomin Rider from, our Deliveroo co-host.
Shall we do the intro again?
No, we're not doing that.
Shall we recap?
So anyway, we also noticed that they're going to get, so Jim, something you may not know about now in Age of Sigmar is previously you would have bought the battle tome.
Yes.
And you would have bought an army.
Yes.
Yeah, but Age of Sigmar have thought that isn't enough for you to do when you want to play a game.
You need more stuff.
So now you've got to buy a piece of scenery.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, and also when you do spells,
yeah,
you have to have physical examples of the spells. So this is a physical example of a spell. So this is Quicksilver.
Is this like when Lex Luthor
Swords, the spell, but it's now also a model.
No way.
And then it's on the board and it moves around. So
does this? Can I ask the viewers? Do we think that this makes the game more fun and engaging to play because you can see the spells, or do we feel like this is just some weird marketing ploy?
Nathan,
how do you feel about that?
I think it's cool. It's nice to be able to have both. But it's nice when the spell actually manifests itself on the battlefield. So it's cool.
It does look cool.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think the answer is just both. And it's not all spells. So, as an example, with this new battle tome, there'll be three new physical spells, which only the Beast of Chaos will be able to take. Yeah. But then the Malign Sorcery also lets you have 11 other spells. 12 if you.
They're pretty cool models, those beast ones.
Oh fuck yes!
The Burning Bull.
Do they stay? Is it like a vortex, like where it stays on the board?
They move around.
They move around randomly,
well,
or
some move, some stay still. So the Quicksilver Swords move around, and then you imagine it's quite fast.
Okay.
And then there's one that's like a wall, and then there's a portal, and there's loads of stuff. But for the Beastmen, they get a giant horn that's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have, as previously previewed, and last week we spoke about it. They have a bull where half of it's on fire. And they also have a flock of birds, which famously will be released.
Flock.
Released into it. Probably is it called the dire flock?
Yeah, it's not called Flock of Doom. It's called the dire flock.
Do you
want to explain to us why it should have been called Flock of Doom, Nick?
Oh, that's the old spell from the Lore of Beasts. There used to be one called Flock of Doom.
I remember that.
But there was a blurry picture where it looks like the spell's called Dire Flock.
Right, can I ask a question? You know the flaming trumpet?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what you said, right?
Yeah, that's what yeah.
Is this going to be like 2008? Is it coming out this year? Is it out?
It's coming out in September.
Right, so it's coming out in like days. Is this going to be like the late 2018 version of the toot meta, where it becomes hashtag fiery toot meta because it's a fiery trumpet?
That's a great question. It's a great question.
Put it out to the viewers.
Nathan.
Let us know what you feel about the new toot meta. Hashtag fiery toot meta.
Nathan, what do you think? Do you think it'll become the fiery toot meta?
Jim has just got loads of words.
Serious question though,
Yeah.
Nathan or Rob or anyone else that might be on the stream. What of these which of these physical spells have you used? Which do you think are going to be your favourite? And
of the new ones,
for me as a noob, like which one do you think you'd be like, check this one out? It's cool. It's got some good synergy.
Well,
I'm all about getting the
important,
advice.
So of the endless spells that we've seen that are faction specific only. So Stormcast had 3. One of them was a comet that was really, really good. One of them was a disc. It's fairly shit, in my opinion. One of them was a swirling bunch of hammers, also ridiculous. And then when you go over to the to the Nighthorn, they had Scythe, which I thought was cool, but a little bit. The Time Glass is really good. It does a lot of damage. And then I can't remember what the Casket does. Casket's okay as well.
Casket Souls.
Yeah, it's kind of like a casket. But yeah, they look really cool, and it's just exciting because, with the exception of, and they also have the piece of scenery, which is the giant herdstone. Well, not giant, although it looks. They've done a bit of clever photography there, Nate. If you looked at the picture on the article,
Yeah.
yeah. So if anyone so what they've done they've put the herdstone next to like a brace shamer, but they put him in front. So he's not the biggest model. He's like a pretty standard 25, like a 32mm based character model. Yeah. So he's in front of it. Then you've got the herdstone. Don't do that, Nathan. Whatever that is,
Nathan,
stop that.
Please take that out of your mouth. Okay.
And then above, and then you've got the herdstone, and then in the background they put a monster model quite far away.
So it looks like the herdstone's bigger than the monster.
So it looks like it's a much bigger than it is.
It's really 4 inches high.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be very big at all.
That's the perspective kind of strategy I went for when I did my professional adult industry photos for my portfolio. There was some creative use of perspective. Yeah.
You're saying you do some creative dick pics? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, no, I'm just saying you can't how many times is Moomin Rider in One Punch Man? The rest of the time he's in like other types of anime.
None of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So overall, Twitch chat, and so it's going to have Zangorian. It's going to have a piece of scenery. And what's nice is it's an army that if you've already got, you'll be able to pick up loads of these on eBay. Traditionally, that's a pretty combat-orientated army with some good magic. If you're taking all the elements that I can think of that are in... Nate, please, what is it you're doing to the microphone?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh.
No explanation.
I'll stop doing that.
He's doing his photography.
It's not for me. I'm fine with it. But the guy on the podcast, there's literally 2 guys in one of them's in Denmark, another one's somewhere else, and we would have a 5-star rating on all of our stuff.
If it wasn't for Nathan sucking on that yogurt pot.
So please stop that. Please.
Weird yogurt.
Sucking on a yogurt pot.
Well, how do we know? Is it worth? Because I've got no fucking idea.
So hold on, Twitch Virgilia says the herdstone looks awesome. Nathan, what do you think? Have you got a favourite model from all of those?
Yeah, the herdstone look awesome. I think the dire flock looks interesting. I like the look of that.
Yes.
The horn is quite cool too. Yeah.
So all of them.
Basically,
yeah,
5. Which is your favourite, Rob? Like you have to pick one.
I think the herdstone. Personally,
loving the herdstone.
I think the herdstone. Well, there's enough now. So again, you might not know this, Jim, but so they've released quite a few pieces of scenery. So like with the Agnetic King, they released a boat, like a ghost shipwreck.
Nice.
and I can't wait to tell you this. So they are all fish type people. So there's a turtle. Yeah. They're all elves, by the way. So there's a turtle, and there are eels, and there's a shark, and they all raid the land because when they arrive, they bring the sea with them.
Like the Deep Sea King.
Like the Deep Sea King.
I fought him.
You fought him on One Punch Man.
They bring the sea with them.
They bring the sea with them.
Yeah.
So then, therefore, there is a boat you can buy, a scenery, which is cool. Nighthorn don't have anything. In fact, and if you play Nurgle, there's a tree that's all like diseased. So if you were just interested in making pretty cool boards, that's another nice little bit. Even if it's a piece of scat terrain, I don't know its price, but it's like just another. Cool
It sounds really cool to me that you can like riff off the themes that are built into each army, like within the tome. It's like you can bring the sea with you, roll it up, or you can have like the Nurgle rot spread in, or like you can bring the night. I don't know how you bring the night. Maybe you just get some like dark purple cotton wool everywhere.
But like same with the spells, you can probably knock up some pretty cool like objective markers or other stuff at the end of spells.
Steve Foot, we're looking at you.
Exactly. Anyway, Nate, obviously we don't know if this army is going to be strong or not strong. How Pirate Bear Games, it's got a new battle tome, so it's going to have allegiance abilities, access to spells, access to artifacts, battalions. Probably, I imagine we'll see some war scrolls get updated.
We've only got nukes so far, right?
Well, no, there's been official announcement that there's going to be a battle tome. We know there'll be endless spells as well. We haven't yet seen an endless spell in the game, Nate, even from Malign Sorcery, which is defined the game, right?
Well, you mean one that, like, seriously changes the game? I mean, we thought that the portal would, but then they limited the amount of spells you can send through it. So...
Is that the portal where it's a gate and you can go through and reappear somewhere else?
Yeah, you can send a spell through it.
Okay. Send spells through them.
But now you can do it one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can just like combat, can't we?
No, but like the point is so what I mean by this is.
But yeah, there's no one spell that sort of totally changed the face of the game. You could say no. Yes. Changed the meta.
So they've not reintroduced dwellers, basically.
No. But what I mean is, there's no game. Although the Dwellers podcast is back.
Oh, the Dwellers podcast is back. Well, I'm okay with the podcast being back. I'm just not okay with the spell being back.
But yeah, there's loads of potential in the new book, especially for an army that does a lot of combat. And combat's a little bit more engaging almost always than shooting. And I would argue that because of the line of sight blocking that you see from Sylvaneth, and also lots of the other factors that we've talked about over the past few weeks, shooting is not very good at the minute in Age of Sigmar. Like, I'm not saying it's not as good, but I imagine what we're going to see is a lot of... it's another good combat army. We might get a lot of bonuses to that. Plus, I'm really excited to see what their allegiance abilities are going to be.
Well, I would have thought... I mean, they are pretty much... their sort of modus of operandi is being really fast and ambushing. So that's probably what we'll see. So we know already that movement is great. So especially when it comes to getting objectives. So I think they'll be all right.
Well, I was going to say, Nathan, like about the movement thing. Are we going in AOS with like, if you're going to make it more combat orientated? It's a serious question.
It's great. Go for it.
If you're going to make it more hand to hand, like melee orientated.
Yeah.
Does that mean that we're going to start to see people getting bonuses in their stats for movement or like speed spells? Because if you're going to nerf shooting, and you're going to change the meta towards combat, obviously everyone really enjoys getting objectives, right? Yeah. And there's no point in having all this beautiful scenery that does different kind of like locale effects if you're not going to be moving near to it. So I personally would be in favour of seeing a more dynamic board shift, and now you can get out of combat. That's cool.
As opposed to all the other games you watch where it's really static and you're really bored by it.
Yeah. So I'd like to see loads of dynamic movement, but there needs to be like the potential to actually move far, because I think that's one of the cool things about being able to like move further now than you could a couple of years ago. So do we think the meta's going? Pardon?
Yeah. The game is already
the meta's there already. If you look at,
are we going even faster?
There's not actually a movement. Movement isn't actually in the game anymore. You either can infinitely move, or you can't.
Oh, that's nice.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, essentially.
There's not really a sliding scale between, they can move kind of fast,
Yeah.
and they can not kind of move. It's either you can deploy everyone on the board and charge an extra 12 inches,
Yeah.
or you can't.
Okay.
Those are the two places, in my opinion. So obviously, a more combat-oriented army would be good, especially if they've got some cheap chaff units as well. Beast of Chaos, so you've got fairly cheap units, which is going to be really important because, as I've been talking about, and I think is true, chaff is going to be this is the chaff meta currently, just having those rubbish. They've also got a pretty solid shooting attack. I mean, they've got little bits of shooting, some small arms fire, but they've got their own monster mortar.
Who have?
The Beast of Chaos.
Okay.
Because they're going to have it's not the Cygor, is it? It's the other one. Or is it the Cygor?
The Gore side.
Yeah, I think it's the cycle, yeah.
Yeah, so he's got a big boulder and he throws it, which traditionally has always been really bad, because it's just like one shot hits on a 4, 300 points, good pointage there. But yeah, I do wonder if, like Zango Jack saying, I do wonder if we're going to have Shamans and Zangors and others and Skyfires in it. But,
How many? 27?
Yes. Right,
Yeah.
okay, because apparently I've got to move on.
We have spoken about that for quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty massive news.
It's pretty
a
massive
new battle
news.
tome. Is everyone excited about it?
Can I hear from the audience?
No. Well, yes, they can message you and tell you.
Not me personally, us.
So some other hot news coming in quickly. There was a beautiful model announced for Warhammer Underworlds.
Is it this one?
Oh, yeah.
Is it this one that I'm
Yeah.
holding up to the camera right now?
No, it's not that special. And that was, and again, that was a really cool looking Troggoth, so a troll.
Yeah.
And he's holding a frog, and he's also got mushrooms all over him. So it looks like, and yet again, another model that looks like it's going to be from or to do with the Moon Clan book Battletome Moon Clan.
I'm all about them because Nathan's all about them.
Nathan is all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait
Battle
for that.
gnomes. Battle gnomes.
Battle gnomes. Right. So, Nathan, what did you think of this model? Because I know a lot of people will be excited to hear what you think about it.
I think it's pretty sweet. I mean, it like you say, it ties in quite a lot with the fungoid cave shaman. So yeah, looks like he definitely looks like he hangs out with the clan. He's got bad moons all over him as well. So yeah, and I think, I mean, he looks ugly, but then he's also very beautiful because he's a Troggoth, so that's the way they're supposed to look.
The only way he could look
so,
more beautiful is if he was like the Troggoth princess herself.
Yeah.
Is she like the fit version of who's that fat old troll mother?
Troll mother.
Yeah, that big fat woman troll witch troll.
My mother.
She had a net. No, not your mother. She had a net with bones in it. She's like carrying like a big net.
Yeah, the Troggoth hag.
Troll hag.
Yeah, the troll hag. Her.
Troll hag. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry. So what happened is when Warhammer Fantasy Battle came into Sigmar, yeah, because you could previously play that, I know that because that's the only reason I ordered the from you specifically.
That is a feature.
That's a feature. Is that she, when trolls became Troggoths, IP versions of trolls.
Yes.
So she's now the Troggoth hag. She's actually our queen.
So that's who we're talking about.
Yeah.
And she's the shaman.
She's the princess. Hi, Fluxy.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
The shaman's just a shaman. Dude.
no, so then there's also a Grot shaman. Grot shaman that got announced with malign portents. And but anyway, he's got like they're covered in mushrooms. Like it's quite a strong aesthetic, mate.
If I had a what is it, a Bad Moon clan thing, should I get this shaman?
You should wait until the battle tome comes out, I imagine.
Okay.
Although you can write a 6 shaman list, which means
the fungal cave shaman's really good. So yeah, you should get one.
He's
even
really,
if
really
you've
good.
got destruction, you should definitely have one.
Good.
But it's very detailed, and this guy's he's covered in mushrooms. Like he's got like a mushroom on his head. He's got 5 of the mushrooms just on his shoulders.
Is he a real fun guy?
He's a real fun guy. Yeah, he's a real fun guy. So I think you're probably going to see the aesthetic for Moonclan be real mushroomy. Good risotto.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. I'm excited to continue the theme of mushrooms.
It'll be interesting what type of Troggoth he is. If he is a sour breath Troggoth, he's obviously not a fell water, but if he's a sour breath or the rock one, whatever they call the rock one now, or if he's a new type of Troggoth.
Yeah, it's important to point out though, he's for Warhammer Underworld, so he's for Shadespire.
Yeah.
He's not for the main game, but you can use all of the models from Shadespire in game for Warhammer Sigmar.
Yeah.
So, that's cool. Like if he's in there, and also it's cool that that they have some sort of design aesthetic for Troggoths, whether or not they do Moonclan Troggoths or Troggoths on their own, because there's a big drive and push. There's a guy called Donaldinho. It's a real quick story, Jim. There's a guy called Donaldinho. He committed an Age of Sigmar war crime. Then all the Moonclan people kicked him out.
Is he like Ronaldinho?
He's not anything like Ronaldinho. Okay. Yeah, he looks like Lex Luthor.
Okay.
But short. And,
from the New Adventures, or like the new one?
From New Adventures.
Okay.
Yeah. But he committed a war crime where he made a grot do. Well, he made a grot do quite a lot of damage, but he was going to make a grot do. Do you know how much damage he was going to make one grot do?
600.
1 billion damage.
Seems a little bit unreasonable.
It is a little bit unreasonable, right?
That's like Panama Papers unreasonable.
Exactly. Which is why he was ostracised by the entire Moonclan community for committing a war crime. So now he's not allowed to play with Moonclan. Lauded also maybe. Until he actually makes the Troggoth princess make all Troggoths battle line. So maybe that's something coming in the future.
Okay.
But this will be very important to him that there are more Troggoths in the world.
Making all of them battle line basically means that we get to do more Tump meta, right?
Yeah, just more Troggoths.
Yeah, good. I'm into that.
It's pretty exciting.
But with those Shadespire things, though, they do tend to come in a warband, so it'll be interesting to see what warband that Troggoth is with. So hopefully some little grots, something like that. Yeah.
Woo,
let us know which clan you think he's going to be in.
It'll be the Moonclan.
Crips or Bloods?
The Crips. Moving on. Talking about gangs. We've also heard from Games Workshop that they've been watching the show, and that they've decided that they're going to start a new show
segment,
a new segment for Warhammer TV called Theory Hammer, with Frankie and Jeff, and they're going to be talking about Warhammer 40,000 and Warhammer Age of Sigmar and giving some Theory Hammer. It's pretty exciting. For two reasons. Number one, I didn't know that either of them have played Age of Sigmar, which is pretty interesting. And then also number two, and this is key, they'll be doing it for Games Workshop, so everything will be awesome.
Yes.
All of the time.
Yeah. All of the models are excellent.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting watching them Theory Hammer, everything being equally as good as each other.
Are these theories going to be backed up by empirical evidence, or is it just going to be like, no, really, it's awesome?
Feelings.
It's like
theory feelings.
Religion hammer.
Right, anyway.
Nice.
High first praise quick. So anyway, Nathan, what did you think of that news?
Well, I mean, we'll see what it's like. I mean, some of the content of some of their shows have been a bit hit and miss. So we'll just see.
That's Nathan's really political way of saying they did their own podcast, Jim, called the Stormcast podcast. It was 20 minutes. It was shit. Yeah, someone made I think no. Hold on, that's not fair. It was utter bollocks. That's a better way of saying it. I think that's nicer. Yeah, shit's just
bad. Like it wasn't bad. It was like worse.
Like
bad.
it was. If you made something new, you'd be like, okay, you're pioneering the field. No one knows what to do here. Yeah. That's fine.
Any landing on the moon is good landing on the moon.
Exactly, right? Yeah. A podcast when there are 1 million podcasts.
1 million.
Yeah. 1 billion podcasts.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm not surprised by this news.
Anyway,
by the way, if you didn't know, we're not in the news section anymore.
We're still in the news section.
Well, I mean, that bit.
So that same group who brought you that, are bringing you a new show.
Called?
Theory Hammer. What do you think of the name? Yeah, great question. What do we all think of the name?
Let me just think about this.
Hold on, we'll go to our very, very rarely.
Oh, I've got
Rosie,
cramp.
what do you think of the term?
Oh!
Stop shouting! Stop shouting.
Oh,
What do you think of the term theory hammer? Sounds shit, says Rosie. Nathan, what do you think?
I don't know. I guess in theory it's okay. Who knows?
Nathan, stop being so political.
Political?
Yeah.
He's not in Garrick, he's in
Same difference. What do you think of the name, Jim?
Theory Hammer. I feel like if someone other than GW were calling it that, it'd be reasonable, but I feel like I expected them to try and be a bit more narrative-y or something. It seems a bit like clean cut.
Okay. I've got one game, so surprised they haven't done something to tie it in with the IP.
Yeah, that's kind of what I said.
Yeah. Their podcast is called Stormcast.
Yeah, they're just expanding all their
Ooh.
things that they talk about. Some of them are. We'll see if there's any substance. There's been a bit lacking in substance in some of the stuff. Some of it's been.
Maybe it's because they're, struggling to find people that are like ultra passionate about just getting on with it.
Yeah.
But I've just theory crafted this idea.
Yeah, theory hammered.
Theory hammered.
So basically, if they do a podcast like Stormcast, the Theory Hammercast, they do a podcast about the new Bad Moon thing. I want to say clan, but I don't think that's the right word.
Yeah.
Would it be called Badcast? Because that could be quite accurate.
Call it Mooncast.
Yeah, but if they got it Badcast, at least it'd be accurate, right?
I see what you mean.
See what I was saying?
Yeah.
I'm still bitter about that email,
one?
GW. Wait, hold on. Nathan, you got a question?
Yeah, I was wondering, Jim, are you going to start a podcast? What are you going to call it? Miscast?
Miscast? Yeah. Snake Eyes Miscast.
Good. Right. Let's just
Past the cast.
Vortex feedback.
Stop it. Right, let's get on with the show. So, Beastman Battletome, great news, really excited. Especially because that's another faction that's getting tidied up. Yeah, Thunderscorn finally getting taken out of their own faction and stuck into a wider, encompassing faction. That's cool. Chaos get their own Battletome now, so now we've had Battletomes for, since AOS 2 dropped. The Stormcast, obviously, Order. So Order have got one. Death have got one, and Destruction have got, Chaos are getting one, and then we know for a fact that there's going to be a Moon Clan one, so Destruction. So in the first 6 months, I'm just calling it now, I'm going to say, I reckon it's like October, November for the Moon Clan one. So you're probably looking at, in the first 6 months of Age of Sigmar 2, each faction has got a Battletome. It's pretty cool.
Every faction?
Not every faction, sorry, each Grand Alliance.
Right, and how many? Okay, that's
well,
that's great. So 4 out of 4.
Yeah.
And then do we get like sub-books within each faction within the Grand Alliances?
Pardon me?
Will we get subtones for each faction within the Grand
Alliances?
Alliances?
That's what they are.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great.
Good. Nathan, are you happy that everyone's got a book?
Oh,
Is getting a
will
book?
be when everybody gets a book.
Yeah, okay, good.
If Moon Clan get one this year, I'll be happy. Yeah.
If Moon Clan get one
I'm
this year,
expecting it'll be in the new year, but we'll see what happens.
I think it's before then, personally. Because it's called October, and they're not missing that opportunity twice.
October. What other months could we have?
Lord Timo's got a point. Hold on, guys, talking about the Theory Hammer podcast, Hookapin says it's pretty bored if the creative team take the day off on that one. Oscar Paints, why are they theorising their own productions? I hadn't even really clocked that. That's really fucking clever. Yeah. Shouldn't it just be explaining?
Yeah,
Hammer?
It should be like, we know how this works already, Hammer. It's like, we're not sure what we're doing, Hammer.
Yeah, like...
That's good. You are so triggered.
It's kind of like whenever you see someone you see in a film with someone stirring a pot.
Yeah.
And then they get the spoon out and they go, try it. And you're like, no, you fucking try it.
Yeah.
You should know how that tastes.
Yeah. Before you inflict it on me.
Oh my god.
Maybe they're going to be like, I think if you roll this die, then...
Well, hold on. And then, that's so funny. I'm sorry. Lord Timo says, passion isn't the issue. It's trying to represent a company and also measure your commentary, unlike other podcasts and your own fine show, which can be totally honest, in its unbiased content. It's the biased nature of the content.
That's kind of what I was getting at. It's like, wouldn't it be great if they just said what they really thought? Like, because like I'm self-employed working for Deliveroo, and you know, some days
so
I'm just like,
Deliveroo,
yeah, so well I can because they're crap, you know. Because you know, sometimes I'm just like, no, I'm not delivering your crew, mate, because you didn't tip me last time. I just do it, you know, because I'm a rebel. But these guys, you know, they gotta chase that check, which I respect. Like, you know, you got to do a job, but I know.
Feed the wife and kids.
I want to see someone with like mad levels of passion, just being like, fucking love this guy.
Good. Right. Chucky Sleaze, thanks for subscribing on Twitch. That's very lovely of you.
Great of you.
That's lovely of him. Right, so I'm excited about the Battle Tome. Anyway, it's cool that there's going to be some more content. I really hope it's good. I like that. There's already amazing content out there for Age of Sigmar, not just like us, and I like to think we do okay. There's loads of really Warhammer Weekly guys. I love those guys. They do it on Wednesday. They've got some really cool stuff to say. There's loads of really funny podcasts out there. There's some really informative ones. You can go check out the Heralds of War over in Australia. There's like just some. There's Nathan. You got any shout outs? Any like real good content? You don't know any.
Garage Hammer.
Garage Hammer. Yeah, they're still going. There we go.
Yeah,
Nate?
yeah, they're still there. What podcasts?
The Dwellers.
You currently like?
Yeah, Dwellers is up again.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, check out the Dwellers.
I think Dwellers are the last Warhammer podcast I listened to be honest.
There you go. And Healing Hammer has stopped forever now.
Have they? I got an email. I didn't read it. I'd already stopped listening. No offense, Dan. I love you. I love you both, but I've been riding my bike a lot. A lot.
What have you been listening to on your bike then?
No. We're moving on.
Sam Harris. Shout out Sam Harris.
Nathan, you knew that was a fucking trigger, and you went there anyway. That's why it pisses me off when I ask you a leading question, hoping for some like actual like fire and passion from you, and then you hit me with like, oh, I'm going to be all political now. So whenever I say Nathan's being political, he is, because I know underneath it he's got a rebellious heart.
A rebellious hard on.
No, I've been listening to the Rope podcast. It's been good.
Both of you stop.
Oh, I've stopped.
Right, moving on. There were some events this weekend.
Wait, drum roll.
Yeah.
First event.
That's good. Sorry about pressing it.
Wow, you should be a drummer, Jim.
No one gets that at all.
We had some events this weekend. There was 3 Age of Sigmar tournaments this weekend that I know of. If there were more and I missed them, I'm very, very sorry.
We want to hear about
them.
But
there were two. Well, there were 2 in the UK. Yeah, don't really know how it works post Brexit. I think there's one in England, and then there was one in our northern enemy, but I don't really know how that works. Scotland. Yeah, the northern enemy.
The White Walkers.
Yeah,
with ginger hair.
The White Walkers had their own tournament.
Love you, Jonathan.
Jonathan.
So the White Walkers have got a tournament. And Nathan, do you know the results from the White Walker tournament and what the event was called? It was called Northern Invasion, right?
Yeah, it was called Northern Invasion, and it was won by. Let's have a look. See,
you literally
it was won by a dude with Chaos who was called Steve Sanderson. From the realm of Ashkree, but I don't know what. There's no. I haven't got an army list, I'm afraid.
Oh, so hold on. Fluxy's just said in the chat, Zinch won. So
Zinch. I know that their version of the realm rules was that your wizards could each take a spell from the realm that you were from.
Yeah.
So I think that could mix up the meta quite a bit. So obviously, that would explain why Zinch did so well. I know Spider Fang army did quite well. So again, Spider's using fire spells. The fire spells are just bent anyway. So then there was a death army from Sheesh, and then an order army from Ashkree. So in fact, in the top.
Hold on. Did you say 15, hold tight, Ashneek?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. In the top 15, 11 of them were from the realm of fire, Ashkree. So
yeah, so to give you and fuck yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So that way, so if they were from the realm, they could have if they were from the realm, they could also have the spells from the realm.
One.
Yeah, so they could pick a spell. So each wizard could pick a spell from that realm.
Whoa.
So.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Because so there's currently, if you guys are new and aren't 100% certain about this, there's 3 ways to play currently. There's just out of the core book. There's out of the core book and you're from a realm, and out of the core book and you're from a realm and you can take the artifacts from it. There's also out of the book, from a realm, and in a realm and gaining access. But now people are picking and choosing, and that it grossly changes what's good and what's not good. But it also means what's nice is there's a variety in gaming. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it means you have to think, but it doesn't mean that it is more complicated. So
more swinging. If
somebody off the street just pitches up, they'll probably be they'll probably struggle to get their head around it. Poor old Moomin Rider, etc.
That's why you've had to wear a helmet, Moomin Rider, because
so my brain doesn't explode. I'm like Krang with a body.
Thanks, Dionysus. Dionysus has subscribed for 2 months in a row. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
As in the god of wine?
Yeah, he says listening to some AOS while building 40k. Thanks for entertainment. And then later on, obviously, he'll be drinking and covering himself in booze.
Does he know that AO40k is the direct sequel to
and then Provokefree says, just tuned in, didn't know that Aragon, son of Arathon, heir to Illustrator, was a cyclist.
Yeah, he is.
So hold on, I have the list. So let's talk about this in a minute, because that's actually really fucking interesting. So in order, from number 1 down, Steve Sanders, Lee Martin, and Liam Watt were 1, 2, and 3. So Zinch were top, Daughters second, Legion of the Gash third, Sylvaneth fourth, which I think is really interesting. Legion of the Gash fifth, Spiderfang were 6th. What the fuck am I reading? Is this a 5-game event?
Yeah. Well, Spiderfang with the Realm of Ashkree spells, they're pretty good because they've each got 2 spells, and then those spells you can get bonuses to hit and to wound and double damage and all of that sort of stuff.
So I'm gonna David Namworth. I'm so sorry, it's incredibly small on my screen. Either David Namworth or Nemworth. You are a fucking legend. That's just out and out. You're getting Legend of the Week. This is a new title that I've decided we're doing.
In the post.
He's
already.
There's no t-shirt.
I think you're talking about Richard Hudspeth.
I am. So David Nemworth.
David, your t-shirt spontaneously on fire.
No
sorry,
but you're probably great. Yeah, but I'm talking about Richard Hudspeth.
It's pronounced
Hudspeth.
Richard Hudspeth. You know when people go, mate, they mentioned you on a podcast. Yeah, Richard Hudspeth.
He'll never get that because nobody will know who he's.
What's he done? Tell me, because I can't see anything you can see. Literally everyone on the stream except me can see what he's done.
Well, so most importantly, he came, and I've stopped my list now. He came 5th with Spiderfang Grots, which is, to me, some sort of hilarious joke.
Is that what you?
It's like if you were on the news tomorrow, right? America's been taken over. You'd be like, oh my god,
by Switzerland.
Yeah, by the island nation of Sri Lanka. Yeah, that's not. That's incredible. So he's from the realm of fire, so he had access to those spells. Obviously, like Nathan's saying, the wizard on top of an Ragnarok can cast 2 spells. So he's potentially got. If he had 4, he could have 8 spells a turn. It's quite a lot to cast.
Quite a lot.
And we did this already, Nathan, didn't we? We did a show where we talked about building a mixed destruction order list, where it just mainly uses fungal cave shamans, because if you're playing in the realms with access to those spells, you can make some jokes units. So what do you think about the fact that you use the spells?
Well, I mean, obviously, it changes things up a bit. I guess the thing is, playing the Warhammer games. If you're good with the basics, then you should be okay with if you've got access to the spells as well, because it's just an extra layer. But
you mean armies that are already good in their battle tome in a matchup? Let's pick Tzeentch as an example. It's a good army, right? But then being able to add the spells for bonuses.
Yeah. Obviously, it will make wizards much more important. So some armies, like all the Duodin, they'll struggle. And
I mean the shit Duodin will, the fucking chaos Duodin.
Oh no, they're not even a real thing, so it doesn't matter about them.
Yeah, they are shit.
Yeah.
Moomin Rider? What the fuck, Moomin Rider?
I just put my chip down. Chaos Duodin.
Just dropping bombs, truth bombs.
Yeah. Gyrocopter bombs. Right, put it like this, yeah. Have Chaos Duodin got Chaos Gyrocopters?
No, they don't.
Or Gyro Bombers?
No, they don't. So they're suck balls. So
anyway,
exactly.
Me and you know.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I mean, but obviously, we got wizards that get bonuses to cast and the spell and everything. That'll be pretty strong. But yeah.
So yeah, I got to say, my hero of the week has got to be Richard Hudspeth.
What?
Hudspeth, yeah.
Moomin Rider.
And Moomin
Class
Rider.
C, rank 1.
Yeah,
for more than 6 months.
Moomin Rider, not Moomin Rider. Richard Hudspeth is now currently a class hero in my world. But so he had a Spider-Fan drops from the Royal Ashby. Then just to finish it off real quick, the Stormcast played by Dave. I'm just going to read them out. Sylvaneth, Idneth, Stormcast, and Idneth, and then Daughters. So we are starting to see a consistent amount of armies at the top. But Nate, there's also another event this weekend.
From what? From Chaos?
No, so you've seen Idneth always.
Right.
Yeah, you've seen Deepkin always. You've seen Legions of the Cash always. If you take the past 4 or 5 weeks of competitive events, Trade of Sigmar, you've seen Stormcast always. So like you've seen quite a lot. The outliers are things like what the shit. Like, who are you? What are you doing?
Be honest, are they worse than Chaos Dwarden?
No, they're not worse than Chaos Dwarden. Chaos Dwarden are really good. Yeah, because in 18th place, our own man, Sir Fluxalot.
I know that guy.
Right? Sir Fluxy Matutsi, came 18th with Chaos Dwarden, which is shit because me and him are in this year-long battle. Because last week I proposed that everyone. Nathan, did you happen to listen to the show last week?
No, I missed out. I was bad reception area.
No matter what, the answer should have obviously been
I was going to say, you could have styled that out go on.
I don't know what. I know it's the honest wargamer.
Just the two honest.
You could have been like, do you know what, Rob? I do listen to our own fucking show. I was going to sit here a minute and just think, what a dickhead.
Do you want me to do another segment?
Let's try it again. We'll edit
Hero
it.
of the week.
Yeah, we'll edit it. We'll edit it in post.
Last week.
What?
Say again.
So, hey, did you listen to the show last week? Just
No, I didn't.
Fucking what?
He's still too honest. You're the honest wargamer. He's the too honest wargamer.
Too honest.
Did you do a show last week?
Right, anyway, Velatron's in the room. Hi, Veli. He says AOS seems well balanced at the moment with a lot of tier 1 armies, and I have to agree, and that's my point.
I like balance.
Yeah, well, it's more that there are a lot of really strong armies,
That's
and
good.
some of them are rock, paper, scissors to each other, but there's a lot of armies that consistently. Is that alright, okay. That keep coming out at the top, which is really good.
It's great. Well, you always want to feel like you're in the fight, otherwise it's not a sport, right?
So I've got to really agree. Hi, Valley. So I really do have to agree with that statement, which is super positive. I think for everyone involved.
Cool.
And I will just say, despite me absolutely rinsing GW earlier, like I am grateful that they make loads of cool shit.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm into that.
Bob Monkey Cheese says hello, and he's also wants to say hello to you, Moomin Rider.
Hi, what's his name?
Bob Monkey Cheese.
Hi, Bob Monkey Cheese. Do you want extra cheese on your Dominoes when I deliver it?
And also, I got to agree with what the first Brain Squeaker says as well. The battle plans help balance games. So comparatively, because obviously I do the show on 40k as well, it's amazing talking in how when I talk about armies and the game and where everything's at, the difference between when I come and talk to you guys about Age of Sigmar, I want to go and talk about 40k, which I think is why it's really important to be literate in both.
Yeah.
When I talk about Age of Sigmar, we're talking about armies that can do well with the battle plans in mind.
Yeah.
When you talk about 40k, you're like, are you realistically just designing an army that's basically able to kill someone's opposing army in the first turn? Yeah.
Well, regardless of the battle plan.
Like, effectively, the missions are, in some cases, almost secondary. That's not always true. Yeah,
I think missions are one of the best things that came out of the AOS revolution.
Yeah, I agree. I agree more. So I think that's really good.
Well, yeah, it's what they took from Clash of Swords really was when Mo did the first compact, he introduced the objective game, and then everybody's just run with that, and GW picked up on it and ran with it too.
And also, fixed objectives are really important as well, because it lets you know, like, something really simple, like if you can definitely deploy on, let's say you can deploy 12 inches away from an objective, because you know the objective is always going to be at a certain physical position on the map. It means that even though your guys are moving 4, but they've got a special ability that lets them double their movement, like Dwarden, it means you just can guarantee that you're going to move 8, which means, you know, you're still not going to get within 3 inches of that objective. So, well, it's 6 now, isn't it? It's 6.
You're saying Chaos Squad and the shit.
But my point is like it lets you do a little bit of maths and a little bit of working out before you get to the tabletop. Whereas with 40k, again, they just randomly place objectives, which again is really poor because people abuse putting it inside buildings, behind things, and it's just not the best.
I think objectives pre-placed.
Yes.
Yeah.
People asking what happened to Mo. Mo went to play the 9th Age.
Mo Farah?
No, Mo, who did the MoCon, because he said, fuck you all. Gives us a bunch of retards. And I was like, Mo, that is un-PC language.
Oh, yeah, I'm fully in support of that.
Right, and then I said they're probably chromosomally deficient. Yeah, and then...
Is this like that thing we talked about last night?
And then he swished his cape, because he wears a cape, put his gun back into its holster, adjusted his hat, and then wandered off into the sunset while riding a donkey. He wandered whilst riding a donkey. Amazing that you can do both.
Yeah,
he's a very talented man.
Yeah, I was going to say, it takes a certain amount of talent to do that.
He's a very talented man.
Well, you've probably got loads of time to do loads of
what? I've got a serious question, because I know of Mo from MoCon.
Yeah.
What's his name? Is it Mohammed? Is it Murray?
No, it's Mo Ashraf.
Mo Ashraf? Mm-hmm. Oh, right, okay, so it's just Mo.
Yeah.
Is Ashraf his surname?
No, I think it is short for Mohammed.
Yeah, Ashraf sounds.
Yeah, but he's also fantastic. By the way, if again, we sometimes talk about this, and let's not label the point. My opinion, we wouldn't have Age of Sigmar in the format that we have it now. We're not from Mo.
Yeah, so, big up Mo.
Big up Mo.
You're one of the reasons I almost didn't quit.
Okay. Yeah. So he's fantastic. Anyway, so that was Northern Invasion. The White Walkers have had like a great. Then there was also Eggs.
Eggs.
Spelt Element Games Grand Slam. Although with 50 people, Element Games kind of slam.
Yeah, Element Games Slam.
Yeah. Element Games.
Element Games Ski Sunday.
Ski Sundays. Yeah. So Eggs. Eggs. So it stands for haven't sold exactly as many tickets as we wanted to sell.
What was their capacity?
I think it was like 100 and they sold like 50.
But 50's good.
There's no mocking of how many and how few.
Thanks for putting a tournament on Element Games.
I just sometimes think that the name, and I also really respect marketing where someone goes, you know,
we're doing a grand slam.
Like when you go to a supermarket, not a supermarket, like a cafe, and it's like we do the best pizzas in the world. You're
Is it like
baiting? That's a lie, but maybe it's not.
Is it like if you called your podcast The Honest Wargamer, but secretly, Pinky, your plan is to take over the world?
Like lie. Or like when I'm like The Honest Wargamer, I'm like, Nathan, can you lie about something? It's like, no, I'm not going to lie about it. I didn't listen to me. Also, to finish my point about that thing, Fluxy has come 18 with his Chaos Wars. My plan is to only play Chaos Wars for next year, because last week on the show, Nathan, and I talked to you about it a little bit after on the phone, because we stayed up late at night and talked to each other while I talked
in bed with each other?
No, when I ring him late at night.
What, you ring him?
And the first person I text in the morning. And
Isn't that weird?
What?
Did you text it?
Fucking hell.
No, I texted the first person I texted, last person I ring. Anyway, and I was saying to him that we should all only play an army for a year, and there was a long reason behind it. But
Max.
Max. You can have like an off army that you play for like fun and adventures, but if you're into competitive tournament, just stick within like a battle chain.
Oh, you're saying if you're serious, like learn one well.
Yeah,
Okay.
learn one really, really
Good
well.
advice.
And so, like that married up with some people's ideas and feelings. Some people are like, yeah, Flukesy's I think Flukesy's planning to play competitive Chaos Force for next year, which is challenging because I need to beat him. I want to be the best Chaos Force player at the end of the year.
No offense, Fluxy, but you're going down.
No, Flukesy's already come 18th. Yeah, and he did really well at the Bobo as well. So he's the best Chaos Force player in the world currently.
Is this in
He's
focus?
stressing me the fuck out.
Is this in focus?
That's the Bobo, yeah. It's in focus.
Yeah, Bobo. Number 1. That's Rob.
So I've got to shout out Fluxy there. He's really sticking to it.
Good luck, Fluxy. Keep up the good work.
And I'm 2 events behind. Although I do have the grand final coming up pretty soon. So
Is that also a grand slam?
I'm just going to win that. That's just the grand final. But again, only like 90 people. So
You need the Grandmaster.
there's a lot of grands. Oh, 1,000 bits donated by Belly for Fluxy for playing these cool evil zombies.
Nice.
They're not evil. They're just misunderstood.
Thanks, Metatron.
They're like pirates. Right. So then eggs. Nathan, have you got who won the eggs?
Yeah, so Tom Maudsley won with the Daughters of Cain.
So
did lots of killing. Got loads of victory points or whatever, kill points. Then you've got Ideneth Deepkin in second, Paul Marshall-Say. Third place, Chris Green with the Legion of Sacrament.
Yeah, wow. I was going to say, third then has got to be a Death Army, and that's our number. That's our 1, 2, 3, right?
Yeah.
Daughters,
Yeah.
Legions of Nagash,
And then,
Ida.
yeah. Then you've got Grand Host of Nagash, Slanesh coming in at fifth. Pretty good for them. Chris Tomlin with the Phoenix Temple in at sixth. Byron Ord with his Mixed Order. And Paul Buckler with an Ideneth list at 8. Darren Palmer, 10th with some, 9th with some Free Peoples. And 10th was Terry Pike with some Stormcasts.
Wow. Well, Pikey's got some Stormcasts now.
Yeah.
Is that Terry?
Yeah.
I love Terry.
He's dropped his chaos and has gone for the shiny boys.
We have been struggling for like 3 years with them. Bless him. Like they're one of the prettiest armies, like just generally around. Like, and if you haven't checked out his painting tutorials on YouTube, his painting tutorials, and they're totally worth watching. And he's worked really hard on them. I even watched one the other day on Mortarion. I didn't watch the whole thing. I did like the skip thing because I don't.
Double speed.
Well, he painted more than 2 colours. I was like,
yeah. Chill out, mate.
Chill out.
Chill out. I'm not a millionaire.
So
you were talking about his painting. They were pretty.
Top Destruction Army was 19th, I see. So yeah, that's about it there. I think that's the main. Looks like that Daughters of Cain army absolutely slaughtered stuff. Loads of kill points.
Yeah, this is Tom Maudsley. And what else did he get? How many did he get kill points wise? Didn't you say
9,260. So he must nearly be max.
Table almost every opponent again.
Yeah.
What's table? 10,000.
Well, if everyone brings 2,000 points and you play 5 games, obviously 10,000. But sometimes people bring less for a variety of reasons, and then sometimes just
like some people don't let you claim battalions. Like if you've got battalion or spells and stuff like that, then you can't claim those.
Can I just say?
You just let them claim them, right? Like I would never be that. Like no, you can't have battalion points. Someone said to me, "You can't have battalion points." I'm like, "You can't have a drink because you're a twat." Yeah, and then I'd leave.
What? Why is it up to them?
Huh?
Why is it up to them?
No, sometimes it's the tournament TOs.
Right.
Yeah. But I just want to go
Can I just say to like TOs? I think whatever the maximum, if battle points come into it, whatever the maximum you can take, that's what people score when they table you. So if I take 1,600 points,
so let's say you had 1,000 points that was in a battalion, included with the battalion cost, right? Yeah. But then let's say I have one model left from that battalion in the 1,000 points on the table. Yeah. Right. Do I get all of the battalion's points worth of stuff? Do I get what the cost of the battalion was, or Yeah, do I get none of the points? And some people would argue, and I think quite fairly, yeah, you don't get any of the points because you haven't killed the whole battalion.
Yeah.
For me, though, I would think that I think battalions are also already really strong. I would argue that the consistent theme for rules should be that a battalion is something that you always lose to your opponent. So it's like you've given your opponent 160 kill points, which doesn't really matter.
Are you saying that if they wipe out every model that was in your battalion?
No, just so let's say I have 2,000 point army,
Yeah.
and 200 points of that is battalion costs.
Yeah.
When we start the game, you've already got 200 kill points. But I would never use kill points as a secondary anyway. That's me. Nathan, what do you think?
Yeah, I think, I don't know. It would be good if tournament organisers actually spelt it out how people should score the points, or maybe even if GW put it into the rules, I guess, because it is a bit confusing. Because if you kill one unit in a battalion, then maybe you should get the kill points for the whole battalion because you broke the battalion. It's not there.
Well, how about comparing something like this? Like if I take a wizard, right, and I pay 50 points to upgrade him to a certain spell, right? If you kill that wizard, then you get the 50 points as well, don't you?
Yeah.
So I think
anyway, we've covered how it works.
Yeah.
We've covered how it works, and obviously there's different events and they do different things. I think Nathan's process is correct. What should just happen, it should just be something defined by the company, but obviously they won't.
Yeah. Well, the rules, it should be in the rules. How you determine what is kill points and what isn't. So there we go.
All right, so Daughters win again. Big shout out to Tom Morsley. Well done. You are hero number 2 of the week. Piggy John, you should score what the opponent has left as penalty points. Most score breaks the tie. That's interesting. Score what the opponent has left as penalty points. Most score breaks the tie. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I suppose if you determine how many points are left on the table and then just deduct that from a full 2,000, then that might be the fairest way of doing it. So, but then you always get the points for battalions, and you always get the points for endless spells, etc.
And then LLB says, how about just not using kill points to tiebreak, which I agree with.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then first brains go secondaries should always be sports, which it's very tough for me to get away from that being something that we should use. Sports. Especially, or that Games Workshop should use the sport and secondary being sports. Some people then say it makes it a less competitive
thing. Personally, and this is going to be really controversial, and I assume I'm allowed to mention Dan.
Sure.
Yeah. I think Dan and I are both, I certainly am, are on team not a big fan of sports. Like, I just want to smash face. I know I've played one tournament ever, so I'm pretty experienced.
Yeah, 100%. So I actually, I've been reading a book at the minute, actually, which is on my Patreon reading list, which is it's a book on it's about how to win. It's called How to Win. How to Win. Yeah, How to Win. It talks about scrubs. And people who define as scrubs, and that's people who say, and I'm going to send it out to everyone in the future. It's really interesting, and it talks about, and it's not Warhammer related. It's written by a guy that was really good at Street Fighter in the game. So I'm reading that. It's really interesting. I'm halfway through. Got some really great quotes. I sent something to Nathan the other day talking about banning units and banning things. Me and Nathan had that kind of chat. I think I sent it to AD and a few other people. Just part of the ongoing exploration of my knowledge base for all wargaming. Really interestingly. And I think Games Workshop's tournaments should always have sports be number 2. And my reasoning for that is, well, they already do pretty well as a gaming system anyway. But before we go any further, Nathan, how many games do I think a tournament should be?
18.
No, I always say it should be 6.
How long is a piece of string? You want as many games as you can, which I mean everybody does really, but practically it is limited. But it would be nice if we could have 10 games, 20 games.
Exactly.
Really,
so one of the things I consistently talk about is that I think at least the tournament of the weekend in our kind of non-pro, amateur game tournaments that we have currently, and there isn't a professional one in the world as of yet. The closest I think is the LBO, where what they do is they play 7 games over the course of 2 days.
2
Friday,
days.
2 days. On a Friday and Saturday, and then the qualifying top 8 playoff on the Sunday to reach a final, and that way you don't need a secondary. So I think things like the Bobo that just went by, or Eggs, or Facehammer, or name an event that's coming up, or Crimbobo. I think the secondary should be favourite games, because if you're playing a 5-game tournament, I don't think it's really a true evaluation of a high-end tournament.
You're saying there's not enough game to make a game-based decision?
Like, Nate, your gaming experience, and this goes to everyone in the chat as well, I'd really like to know what your guys' thoughts are. If you're playing, Nate, if you're playing at a tournament, do you realistically think, so let's say it's a 5-game tournament, pretty traditional one, there'll be some there might be some tough matchups on day one, those first 3 games.
Yeah.
But realistically, the actual ball-breaking, incredibly challenging knife-edge games sometimes, or more often, end up being day 4 and 5. Day 2, but games 4 and 5, right? Like, that should be naturally the course. Yeah. I might in a 100-person game, I might play the toughest opponent with the toughest list as my biggest counter in game 1. But it's probably unlikely. Yeah.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Because it's just a random draw. It could be anybody. Okay. Right? But day 2, games 4 and 5, that's when I'm starting to play people who've consistently done well.
Oh, because it's Swiss ladder, right? So, well, aren't you playing people who have done well in the general meta, as opposed to people who've done well, like they've got the rock to your scissors?
Pardon?
Like, you're playing against people who've done well in the general meta field, you're not playing game 4 or 5 against people who've done well specifically against your type of army. So you're not coming up against, like, the rock to your scissors.
No.
You're just coming up against people who've done well.
And quite often the path to victory for some players and lists and at tournaments, why sometimes you get skewed results, is because someone just doesn't come up against anything tough. Yeah, they just get
look at the draw.
They just get 5
I guess
buys.
more games, but maybe that's where the league tables come in, like, because we've still got league tables, right?
No.
We've not.
But we'll talk about that another time.
Because I would say that's where you see the better players.
Yes, I understand what you mean.
Because it's the set of all games. It's not the game.
Exactly. Anyway,
I mean, it's hard to. There's many different ways to organise a tournament, and if you look at all the different types of sports and things, but like you say, I think with Games Workshop, probably sports is the best, is a good secondary decider, because I mean, if you look at Age of Sigmar, it's not really. I mean, it's competitive, but it's not really a balanced thing. A lot of the game is put into list writing and stuff like that before the actual game is played.
I just wonder when 98% of the players are fully autistic, if they're actually good judges of sports awards.
Look who's talking.
I say that.
No, the Warhammer community. No, the Warhammer community is one of the best group of people you're ever going to meet.
It's not as autistic as me.
Yeah,
no, exactly. Right, and they're great. They're great judges of character. I think almost all the time.
Yeah. Well, I think Nick is right, because basically we're playing. It's not like a professional sport. This is all just like amateur Sunday league having a kickabout sort of thing.
Don't put yourself down.
The reason why we do it is for fun. So if you're not having a fun time and not having a fun time with your opponent, then what the fuck are you doing it for in the first place?
But that's not to diminish. That's not to diminish from how seriously we can all take it as well. Because you can take something seriously and enjoy it at the same time. And I, for one, take it
and have fun.
Exactly. Yeah. I can do both. Yeah. Take it seriously and enjoy myself.
You can still be serious, but you can't take it too seriously.
I think
which at the moment people can take it too seriously, and then that's where you're not having a fun game. Because at the end of the day, it is just a hobby, and it's that's what it is. So it's just a game and a hobby.
Maybe sports does help keep it amicable.
For that type of tournament. The other way, like, you don't need secondaries in a system where you just don't end up with there being 2 people on the same result. That's the way that you would do it in. There isn't a best sport in like I don't know, in rugby, this. There just isn't a thing because you don't need there to be a secondary result.
John McEnroe.
Whereas it should be a complementary thing alongside of it because people should be awarded for it because people who win best sports votes.
Yeah, you get like man of the match, woman of the match in football, don't you? I got man of the match.
Eddie Mac, I got best sports at eggs. I'm a big fan of it. That's because he's amazing. So people's sports feel sorry for the old. And then Ixtab issued.
So ages. You're going to get in the paper for that, mate.
I'm not going to get in the paper. First Brains Week. 6 games would only put 75% of the field off. Tournament organisers need to sell tickets to work. Not players who tend to go and try and win it, which again is a really good point.
What the six? Can you read that again?
Hold on. And then, well, from the third game, you should be playing against top quality competition. So, Photron, you should start to get tough by then. I take it seriously. Eventually, marked as such. And Eddie Mac has called me a bitch.
You're right. You are right.
Yeah, you are right. Simple. Rob, when you go low, I can't hear what you're saying at all. Oh, I'm sorry.
You gone low or you gone pro?
Actually,
question for the audience whilst Robert sorts out his microphone. Can you all hear me loud and clear?
So you guys might actually be able to hear me better because it turns out the entire time I've been talking, my microphone's actually been in my pocket.
Yeah.
This entire show.
Who sounds the greatest, me, Rob, or Nathan?
So this should make a big difference. It turns out everyone's just been hearing me on Jim's microphone for the show. So
at least it's pointing at you a little bit.
Yeah, it's fine. God, I'm loud.
You do sound a lot clearer.
Yeah, you see, I'm in the room, so I thought you were pretty clear anyway.
Jesus Christ, I'm so sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened. I did have it on.
Shall we start the show again? Because it's not live, is it?
Huh?
It's not live. So
it's not live. It's fine. We'll just re-record it.
It's
Nathan, did you watch last week's show?
Did you do a show last week?
Fucking hell.
Get out.
And then everyone's saying my voice does carry though, so it's fine. Yes.
Yeah.
And I have. It's a special problem I have. I think it's because I'm deaf from being in nightclubs.
Yes.
That's not a problem. That's great to have good elocution.
It just means when you're at a tournament, you know where you are all the time. So like you don't have to like turn around and be shocked when you're like, all right, mate, boom, and hats on the back way too hard.
Yeah. Right. So and then finally over in Australia, our gorgeous Australian cousins.
Antipodeans.
Yeah. I'm going to try and and if you guys are watching on anywhere other than Twitch, that's where I'll be taking comments and stuff, just in case, just to keep track. Yes, our Australian cousins have freed themselves from the bondage of servitude that is their traditional criminal past, and they now have got Warhammer tournaments, and I'm a fan of all of them, apart from obviously Dispossessed Dan. Yeah, and Dispossessed Dan was playing this weekend, along with Dan Brewer, who I interviewed, who is the current number 1 Age of Sigmar ranked player with Skaven.
Great guy.
So, and LV, that's a really good way to describe it. Jim, you might not know this, but often we describe the Australian meta as being much like their landscape, wild.
The wild meta.
Though, yeah, it's a little bit, and to describe it as LV said, which I think is good, the upside down meta.
Yes, I would go with the upside down meta, and it's not even a Stranger Things reference.
But Nathan, do you want to take a guess at who it was won by?
Siege.
Carriage and Overlords. Got no idea.
That would be the funny, yes, that would be good. So it was called Gods of War was the event. Yeah.
Sounds epic.
Yeah, epic. Yeah, exactly. And it was won by a very lovely man called Chris Welfare. He's a fan of the show, I'm pretty certain, but he's got his own show. He's a babe. And he won it with, drum roll please, Sylvaneth. And he won it with the Dreadwood.
Oh, okay.
Wait, we're going to need to do that again because we did the drum roll.
There we go. Yeah, so he's won it with the Dreadwood, which is something we've been talking about on the show a lot. Although we haven't seen it come to fruition. You could say it's the first time we've seen it flower.
Oh! Nice.
So he said that he's gonna talk about it, and I've been really bad at getting back to him because he's at different time frames and schedules. So hopefully he's going to come on the show and talk to me about it. And then we'll also be doing a show with Dispossessed Dan because he's going to tell us how, because he took Dispossessed this weekend, so he's going to tell us how that went. Apparently everyone in Australia is mocking him though because Chaos Dwarves are better. Although obviously no one in Australia now will be playing with Chaos Dwarves unless they buy them from China because Forge Order fucked up the price in now.
Chaos Dwarves is shit, mate.
What do you think about the Dreadwood? What do you think about the Dreadwood winning, Nath?
Yeah, I mean, that's a strong list, isn't it? And it's an alpha strike in your face, punch you in the dick list. So yeah, it should win lots of games. So good.
He said that he felt a big bonus from it. Like, this is just what I got from Twitter, but I like I say, we'll do a show and we'll have a chat to him about it. He did say that he felt that the line of sight blocking for the trees. Now this is exit would have been true, and it would have been true at Northern Invasion as well, unless they comped it. But since this is the first time we'll have seen Sylvaneth with that in effect, right?
Yeah, this weekend.
Oh no, it would have also been in effect at.
Don't look at me.
Blackout. It would have been in effect in Blackout.
Oh yeah.
So there's a bunch of, but yeah, the fact that the line of sight blocking, that's going to be a big deal, because if we look at some of those armies, their ability to do mortal wound output or generally damage because of spellcasting, which usually requires line of sight, would have been pretty important.
Yeah.
So again, it's the scenery matter. Scenery matter.
Well, potentially, especially the Sylvaneth Wildwood change that happened because of the FAQ, and if no one happened to catch that show, then what happened was they made all Sylvaneth Wildwood also have the same rules and abilities of a Citadel Wildwood, which means they block line of sight. And obviously you need things like, to cast spells, usually you need line of sight towards your enemy. Shooting, obviously you need line of sight. You don't need line of sight for charging, so that's fine, but no one wants to run into a forest with 6 Gurnoth Hunters in there with scythes. Don't do that.
Drag off.
Yeah. Nathan, did you listen to that show? You were there for that show.
Was I there?
Yeah.
Were you listening when you were there?
Oh my God.
No, probably not. I don't think I listened to it even if I was there. Sorry.
I'm going to send you the same home we sent AJ Mac.
Is he employed? Can we fire him?
No.
Hey, I'm gonna get
unless they've got the fly keyword. So if you've got the fly keyword, so like a lot of change is a really good like example, or Nagash are good examples of two casters that can do great spells, but also have the fly keyword, so the line of sight blocking from the trees doesn't work. But if we take something like Foot of Gork from Iron Jaws, pretty poor example, but just in case it ever pulls off.
How do you know it's not the Foot of Mork?
What's a great question, Jim? How do we not know it's the Foot of Mork? I think it's the Foot of Gork and the Balls of Gork. No, Foot of Gork, Balls of Mork.
Teabagging of Mork.
Yeah, the teabagging of Mork. Yeah.
Nice. It's funny how both of them make a foot-shaped imprint, though, isn't it? Balls or foot.
People saying is Disciples of Zinch the new hero army, the army we need. I think. Oh, what is in defeating the flying thing? But yeah, seriously, they could have been a bit more subtle on the price hike. Oh, what, for Forge World? Wow.
So fill me in, because I don't know.
It's not very complicated. Basically, under the guise of we want to improve the service that we give you from Forge World, we now have changed the pricing structure for all of our Forge World products. So basically, now you can order in your own currency, and get it delivered pretty sharpish in your local region. Yeah. However, most places have something like, apart from the UK, have something like a 30% increase on them.
As opposed to what was the previous method?
So the previous method would you would purchase from the English store, and then you would pay for shipping.
Postage.
Well, yeah. So if you're shipping to Australia, you would pay for the shipping to Australia, and you would pay for all of it in your local currency.
Right.
Now, you do that as again the same, but they now have inflated it. So they haven't. So now you don't buy it. So if the exchange rate from Australia to the UK was 1 for 1, you would do 1 for 1.
Yeah.
But previously, but now you're just going, you go like 1.5 to 1 for no particular reason.
What? So they put hard prices on the website in foreign currencies.
Pardon me?
They've put hard prices on the website in foreign currencies.
Yes, they've just increased the price for everyone not in the UK.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Well, yes.
boycott Forge World if you're not in England.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Is that reasonable?
Jim, such a privilege, says Jonathan Etland. Wait, isn't that a myth? This is not Jim. In fact, this is Moomin Rider. In Canada, says LOV, we pay a 50% Canada tax. Hi, Martin Orlando.
Orlando.
Yeah, Bellaton donated 1,000 bits for Jonathan Etland. He says, "Oh man, you star." Hi, Sunise. And then obviously, aka the British are in need of foreign currency. So now, obviously, I think that it's also bullshit, and anyone else in another country who's listening, it's bullshit, and I'm so sorry for you.
Do you want me to send an email?
Well, you know, some people are like, but you don't, please don't. You know, some people have to. You know, some people will be like, well, it's just your hobby. You don't have to buy it, but you want to buy it, and now the thing that you want to buy is just 30% more expensive or 50% more expensive. But key
abuse of power.
Yeah, probably they just fancy themselves now that they can lie to anyone about anything.
I'll nip in. It's only down the road. I'll fuck them up.
Just go have a charge.
Yeah. I'll charge them. I'll roll a 6.
Yeah.
I do bike crash attack or whatever it says on my Wikipedia page.
A strongly worded letter is needed, yes, or possibly one of those glitter bombs that they do.
Ooh, yeah, send a glitter bomb.
Yeah, I mean that's one of those moves again by Games Workshop that they're famous for. And if you're new to the community, like because you may be, while newgamesworkshop.tm is something that they bandy around a lot with their communication skill, and it is great that you can talk to them. Like, yes, they often will they aren't interested in you as a customer, they're interested in you as a wallet. They don't care about your gaming experience or
their corporate face. So have we got any practical advice? Let's say you live in Australia, can you buy from another major UK retailer, find Forge World models and then not pay the markup? Can we offer people a kind of practical...
Yeah, the practical solution is you find someone in the UK who's willing to buy it at UK prices and mail it over to you.
But there's no shops, like, for example, I mentioned Adam.
But let's say someone like me, for instance, could, like, probably not legally, because that would be reselling, I imagine. But, you know...
Yeah, but since when do we care about the rules?
Well, yeah, that's true. But what I mean is like, you can probably get people in the UK to buy something and send it you over.
I'll do it.
All right, well, we'll talk about that later, Jim. You can sell... Well, obviously, you could just cycle it over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's only a 1.5%, 1.5 times markup. I'll do it for like 1.1. There you go. You just saved 0.4.
Well, the important point to note, and I'd like everyone to be really aware of this, because obviously, if you're not from the UK, then you're not very sure. But Games Workshop is... Because most people know that Games Workshop's main... obviously, Warhammer World is inside of a castle. But a lot of people don't know is they've put solar panels on top now. They've bought another building to the side. They're doing a lot of general infrastructure rechange. And it's because once Brexit happens, they're literally building a castle around it because England's reverting to the feudal system, as far as I'm aware, because of Brexit. So Games Workshop has got all of this. That's why they're hiring so many new people. I don't know if you've noticed the people they're hiring, but they're very strong and big to man the castle walls. Yeah. They keep turning all of the their plan is to make enough plastic that they can use all of the sprues as little bungee sticks. Yeah, yeah, and arrow stars and all sorts. Many. I don't know if you know the Chaos Citadel. Has anyone built that? It's got the sharp tops.
Yeah, seen it.
They're weapons. You put your fist inside it.
Yeah.
I don't advise anyone does this. You just got 2 punches. Yeah.
2 spiky punches.
Feudal Brexit. Post-Brexit Britain, he's doing this, mate. Yeah, he's going around punching all those starving people to death, yeah, and taking all their gold. It's Games Workshop plan. That's why the Forge World price hike. I've heard allegedly from an inside source.
Party line, the honest wargamer. That's what we're going with.
Yeah.
Moomin Rider. Not sure that's what's happening. Just, you know. Yeah.
Practical solution, you need to go through a friend. Games Workshop resellers in the UK, Europe.
Maybe I could set up a website.
Well, no, you couldn't set up a legal website.
Yeah, maybe I could just set up like a Facebook page.
There's also there's a fella in China that is reselling it as well.
Yeah, good on him. Good work, China. Yeah, why not? Why not, man? Maybe I'm too libertarian.
Yeah, potentially. Anyway, so the Dreadwood one, I don't know how we got away from that. Forge World pricing, right? Dreadwood won.
Australia.
Great news. Yeah, Australia, upside down meta. Dispossessed Dan on the show, talk about that. New Beastmen Battle Tome. We've got a pretty solid meta, which is why one of the shows me and Nathan and Jonathan are going to do next week is we're going to do, and we did this before Age of Sigmar 2 happened, and we're going to start again as of next week. So we're going to put all of the different sub-factions into our tiering system that we previously did. So there'll be an S tier, there'll be an A tier, there'll be a B tier. So it'll be a 5-game tournament. How many games can I expect to win with this particular army? Okay. And I think it's going to be previously almost most of the sub-factions were in that kind of 3 to 4 category. Well, the center category 3, and we had it was a lovely distribution. There was quite a lot at the 5. There was a couple down at the 1 or 0. So it's quite nice. And I expect it to look very similar as well, and I'll make a nice infographic.
Do you want any armies to be down at the 1 and 0?
Yeah, because you get to bully them and they're funny. But then also, you get to be that one guy who's using them.
Is it you?
Well, no, you just get to talk about that one guy. It's like, have you seen that guy with the spiders? Yes. No, not that guy. It's like, if someone brings Drake Sworn Temple, it's like, if you've got Drake Sworn Temple.
Didn't Patrick Swayze play him?
Nathan, do you think it's going to be a pretty good distribution next week?
A pretty good distribution of stuff.
Well, of the different factions in the tiering system.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I think it will be a good distribution. I think I've been impressed at the variety of stuff that's been doing all right, actually. So yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's been some consistent performers, right? Daughters of Cain, Legions and Nagash, Idoneth. I haven't seen Nighthawk pop up more, but maybe it's fairly recent since they came out before it became an issue, right?
Yeah, they're still
developing.
People are still building the armies and stuff. Well, there's a few out there though, but yeah, I think, and from what I've seen of them, I think that I can't imagine it will be long before you see some podium and win. So definitely.
Yeah, without you. And 17th was the highest Nighthaunt at eggs, we believe.
The highest what, sorry?
17th was the highest Nighthaunt at eggs, I believe. Martin Orlando is saying we're bashing the change for Draw because it is a bad change. And it is a bad change.
The price change?
Yeah, price change. Yeah. LLV, I've not seen a good Nighthaunt build yet, though. LLV, I sent you one on Discord. Yeah,
go on, LLV.
I sent you the list.
Didn't you say? I saw it.
Although I've sent that to like 12 people now. Yeah. Someone's like, I've just got that saved as Nighthaunt Get Lost or something. Someone's like, what Nighthaunt army should I take? I'm like,
well, you just tweet it and be like, yeah, I tweeted it.
Oh, he means at Tawnies. And also he says, fuck me. All right, Nathan, anything else that's come up this week? Or shall we're going to, because we've got loads to do for next week. So.
Or we could do like a this week
we
in
can
hobby.
save it for next week. It's fine. That's cool.
Have we got a this week in hobby? I can tell you what I did in my hobby.
Nope.
I didn't do any Warhammer.
Well, then it's off the table.
What about you two?
Chaos Dwarfs. I've got a unit of 12 Kadai that are now based, painted, and done.
Good.
Proud of that. I also, this is some controversial news. I don't want to labour on it too much. I've also put my 40 Chaos Marauders on bases. Nice. They're all built, painted, and done. Yeah. But I am using different models for my Chaos Marauders.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Maybe you can reveal what they are next time.
I used Moonclan Grot Shamans.
Okay.
Not Shamans, Moonclan Grots. But then I green stuffed all the shields, and then I made them into Hobgoblins, evil Grots as my Chaos Marauders,
aka Scroats.
Yeah, what do you think of that, Nate?
It's not a real army. Okay.
It's not a real army.
Yeah. Chaos Dwarves. Not a real thing. I'm just making it all up.
I've got a great idea for you.
Oh no, we've got a couple of questions. One from Velatron. Are there a lot of tier 1 good armies because they're well balanced, or because so many of them have been released recently and folks still need to get to grips with all of those new armies? That's a great question. I would say, in my opinion, that getting to grips with it. Daughters of Cain is the interesting one, right? For me. They don't have the fly keyword, apart from, they've got 2 units, right? But apart from that, they're not dissimilar to Ironjaws. Right? I mean, they do like weight of dice attacks as opposed to good rend, good damage attacks, which Ironjaws do. But for me, they're as blockable and as chaffable as any combat army in the game.
Yeah.
But I just think so many people are focusing on not putting chaff on the board that they're not paying attention to doing that. Unless you disagree, Nathan.
Yeah, I think they've got ways of dealing with chaff because they have got shooting as well. They've got decent shooting, and they've got they've got decent speed, but I think they do have access to chaff as well. They're more flexible than Iron Jaws.
Yes, that's definitely true.
Yeah,
and more board control than Iron Jaws.
Yeah, they've got loads of little heroes that are too cheap for what they are really, and then they've got loads of stuff that can kill stuff, and they're pretty quick. I think they're just good. They're really good, nice.
But like, so what I'm trying to get at though, is they don't pose a new type of problem, even in quality. Even though maybe, like, let's say they're better than Iron Jaws in quality of the problem, they don't pose a different problem to what we've seen with any army that's like a fast combat orientated army.
Yeah, I mean that's what they are. They're a quick combat orientated army. That they've got some interesting magic units in the dudes on the horses. What are they called again?
Shapeshifters, beta males.
Yeah, them lads.
Yeah.
And the Medusae. So they have got some cool magic as well. They're just but they do move forward in a straight line and chop you up. So if you have got some chaff, it'd probably be useful, but they will go through it pretty quick.
Yes.
And once they get into you, they're a night. And also they've got some cool units. I mean, the sisters that pile in 6 inches, they're great, and all sorts of stuff. So
I couldn't agree with you more there. ADMax says Daughters of Cain took my play touched army off the board in 2 turns at eggs. So maybe the idea of taking enough chaff might just not be correct. You might maybe need more chaff than, or maybe it's not. But what I mean is in gaming terms, having to stop units that you punching the stuff that you don't want them to punch is already something that we have to approach. But there's some other very interesting problems like deep striking, or not even deep striking, just incredibly mobile eels, which are also a combat unit, but now they can fly, so they're a lot more challenging to deal with. They also can have, they can also have +6 to charge, really easy, +9 to charge if you want, super easy. So that's really challenging. You've got Stormcaster that can have quite pluses to charge, but they don't fly, right? So and then you've got Nighthorn, which can basically like half a lot of the damage you potentially put into them. So again, they're really challenging. They pose a lot, and then Nagash, and these are Nagash, they pose a different problem. So there's lots of like problems at the army list building phase that you've got to focus on, right?
Yeah, it's definitely It's the fields are wide open at the moment, so it's pretty cool.
There's a lot of meta.
Collie C says, currently painting 120 witches as my army for a year, lots of attack speed and surprisingly durable. They're also durable. That's also true.
Yeah, they can be, depending on the prayers and the cauldrons and stuff that they have around them. Yeah.
But they don't play the magic game very strongly either. Like, they do have access to wizards, but they've not got like...
Yeah.
When you say the magic game, do you mean Magic the Gathering?
Yeah.
No. Although Age of Sigmar does now have its own Magic the Gathering game called Warhammer Champions. Terrible name. Random question: will there ever be hosts of Slanesh book, and will it be worth a tin shit? So Khalifa seems to be more populated by other factions. I imagine. So every year, let's put it in our calendars, ladies and gentlemen. So we had the Blades of Corn book. Yeah. Year later, right? We had Disciples of Zinch book. Year later, we had the Maggot King book, and then year later. It would make sense that there's a Slanesh book, right?
Good job that I know all 4 Chaos Gods.
Nice. So there's actually 5. There's a Great Horned Rat. And there's also
You got a promotion.
there's also our Lord
Beastman.
there's also our Lord Hashut, the Chaos Dwarf god. The
No,
Beastman
it's not a proper one.
is a
Yeah,
proper
there's
one.
the Beastman book as well that's come out, and the Everchosen book. So
What, the advertising book?
There's an Everchosen book coming out, Nate.
there was the Everchosen book.
Oh
It
wow.
was
Okay.
really crap.
We've
Well,
all
there
learned
you
some
go.
things there. I thought you said is. That's what I thought. It sounded like a different tense, mate.
No.
I don't know
Well,
what's going on.
there will be another one, I'm sure, at some stage.
Daughters of Cain is the most consistent army in AOS 2 so far, based on tournament results. And then
Cool.
Smack Weasel says squats. And then Tiny King, well, technically Blood of Corn came out next one, and Bloodbound book came out, I've got a Melisai ready to build and paint part. Daughters of Cain seem to have a good toolbox of tricks and units. Never mentioned Malau. It's also one of the most expensive armies to buy. Well done, Games Workshop.
Yeah. Make the best one the most expensive.
Yeah. And in Sweden, Daughters of Cain have won 3 out of 3 tournaments in AOS 2 so far in Sweden. I think that the chat are really pushing a point home. I think what they're telling me is, Rob, say Daughters of Cain are the best, and I think probably that's true based on all tournament results.
Yeah.
Maybe we could get a method.
I think they're a definite contender. I'm surprised we don't see more corn stuff, because again, that's a similar army. I think they have the capacity. They've got the flexibility as well.
They don't have the magic or anti-magic. I think that's the problem.
The magical anti-magic.
Well, yeah, they don't even have like a token wizard to try and stop that one important spell, right?
No, but they can stop spells with their slaughter priests and stuff, which you would take anyway.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I think they should do well. I expect to see Pano winning a few games, man.
Yeah. Jonathan in the chat has also made a really good point as well. That thing that we consistently see from Daughters, from Nighthorn, Legion and Nagash, depending on if they take skeletons, they normally have a big block, is just no one's taking the anti-horde killing units, right?
Yeah.
You know,
the
things, like as an example, Croxagore, because they get for every model within 2 inches, they get an extra attack, right? Yeah. You know, and if you're fighting a horde, you can get a lot, because you have like 3 of those Moonhammers in a unit of 9, or Decimators, which Martin Orlando AOS, to give him his shout, it says Decimators are still bad, but they do something similar, right? Like not all books, but some. Scarblood Wrath, big shout out, horde killer on his own. There are spells, there are artifacts, there are mechanics, and there are units that are designed to kill large blocks of models.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the next meta.
Well, I mean, a lot of those, like the witches, your horde of witches is a horde killer, really, because it's just a matter of who strikes first, really.
Yes.
Hordes are a good way of killing a horde, as you really.
Yeah. I think there's a lot to be said there for the ability to harm horde units. For me,
Definitely.
personally, that's what I think. I think board control and doing something like that. But loads to talk about next week. We're going to collate a lot of tournament results and lists next week, and we'll be looking at that and tiering the army. So if you guys want to join us for that show, please do, because we start at 7 p.m. UK time every Monday on twitch.tv/Wargamer. But we're also on our Facebook channel and YouTube at the same time, which is cool. So you guys, I don't know where you're watching us right now, but wherever you've been watching us, thank you. We are always been brought to you by everyone on Patreon and Twitch who supports the show. Like Velotron has donated 1,000 bits today, and I want to say thank you for that. We've had a bunch of people subscribe, so thank you to you guys. And then Nathan's back next week. Jonathan's back next week. Moomin Rider, are you off somewhere?
I just showed up on my shoe. Well, I can come back next week, maybe, if you really want me to.
Moomin Rider, you can do what you want, but I thought you may be off to potentially deliver pizza somewhere, or...
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, I wouldn't mind delivering a pizza into my face if you're up for
that. And just everyone on Twitch, thank you for all your comments and thoughts and your feelings. We've got loads of stuff to bring you over the next few weeks. Thank you very much. Nathan, do you want to say bye to everyone?
Cheers, everybody. Thanks again.
Moomin Rider.
Keep hammering the war.
That's the worst catchphrase ever. That should be our catchphrase. That should be the one we go for.
I should have put my glasses on first.
Bye, guys. You guys are great. We'll see you soon.
Peace.